Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Kaylee here. So, for my pastel work, I have been using these drawing pads, Strathmore 400 drawing series. They're good, I really like them, but one of my local art stores that I love talking about so much had a sale on proper pastel paper. So I thought I'd try it out. Try something a little bit more strange. I know I usually go wild on the color, but this time I thought I'd go wild on the form too. Come on. Let's give it a try. All right. Good evening, folks. How are you all doing today? Please excuse this poor camera angle. Once again, I'm still trying to figure out how to do this stuff. Today's work is again done on the pastel paper that I just bought. I showed it off in the beginning. It is an 18 by 24, about 80 pounds. Highly textured. It is incredibly textured. I am actually surprised it doesn't feel like sandpaper. Once again, the initial sketch will be done in a Prismacolor colerase. I'm really sad to see these discontinued, but hopefully the erasables live up to their legacy. But as for pastels, today I am doing something a little bit special, and I'm busting out my Caran Neopastels. At least for the face. For the body, I use my gallery. Once again, I don't really want to waste the Neopastels, but you know. And as usual, the background will be done with Crayola. Today's portrait will be a little bit more abstract. You can just barely see it in the colerase, but you can tell with the eye even it's going to be a little bit different. So the genesis of this painting was a photo of a young person with extreme rosacea. As I looked at it, I kind of wanted to, I wanted something different. So naturally, my first inclination was to add an extra eye to it. Not in the obvious place you'd find an extra eye either. This one is right on the cheek. And of course, with the extra eye, you can't be perfectly symmetrical, so you kind of have to raise one side of the face, which pulls the nose and the mouth and everything along with it. And then if you're doing all these crazy stuffs with the eyes anyway, you might as well make them different colors. So this paper is actually fantastic to work on for very controlled things like this. I have to imagine that the best application would actually be a landscape. Which kind of means that these are a little wasted on me unless, I decide to completely change how I do my art. One of the drawbacks of using this tiny set is that, honestly, you only have 3 skin tones. I know I usually mix in a whole bunch of other colors, but it'd be nice for a base layer. I am basing this on a person with rosacea, so it would be a little nice to have more than just a peach. I actually went out and got an extra light yellow just for skin tones like this. I keep it in a little, actually you can see it on screen. I keep it in that little box right beside my forearm there. It sits there with my Sennelier white. Oh god, that's kinda looks hideous, doesn't it? When you're mixing colors like this with pastels, there is usually an extended ugly phase. Watching this back, those eyes are kinda staring into my soul. I think my favorite would have to be that little gray one on the cheek. Oh god. So this pastel actually broke open and it was hollow inside. What the hell? Caran, you gotta do better quality control because this was an expensive, or I guess it would be expensive if I hadn't gotten a steal of a price for it. But these are expensive pastels. Like this 24 set is almost $70. $70 Canadian, of course. I would expect Crayola to have that sort of air bubble in fabrication process. I would expect Expressionist to have that sort of air bubble. I would not expect Neopastels to have that sort of air bubble. Also, this might be due to the age of the pastels, but some of them felt significantly harder. I'm not sure what that was about. Anyway, enough about that subject. Let's talk about this paper again. It feels significantly thinner than it should, and I don't think that that's a good thing. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to working on mixed media paper, but come on guys, get your stuff together. Oh, getting down to the lips. For this one, I feel like I should have got my Sennelier pastel out. I've just got the one white, but it is so much more opaque than the Neopastel white. I must go back over it with the blue, because it is not showing up on camera nearly as much as I would like. Okay, so I actually put effort into ears this time. So I deserve a little pat on the back for that. This ear is particularly grotesque. I've been having fun drawing little elf ears and little goblin ears, and I think that this is a nice little goblin ear. Yep, them some good yellow and oranges there, Lou. And the little bit of pink and purple right on the top. Oh, those some good goblin ears. And it seems that we don't have enough room on the other side for another goblin ear. So let's put a dangly little earlobe on a normal human ear. And I clearly was not using enough green. You know, the point of a 24 set is to use 24 colors. Sorry, I don't make the rules, that's just how it works. So I use a bunch of greens in the hair, and I think it goes pretty well. I mean, there's definitely some blending that needs to happen, but it gets sorted. Trust me, it gets sorted. Oh boy, does it get sorted! Hey, come on, Kaylee, work it out. You're making me look like a liar here. The wonders of technology. If I don't like where I am at the moment, I am perfectly free to just skip the video ahead some. Finally starting some on the lower part of the body there. Got some nice neck shadow going on. Now, this might have been my fault, but the picture that I had was from the neck up. It did not have any sort of body to it. So, trying to keep in with the asymmetry of this body, I kind of winged it. It's kind of hard to tell, but I also busted out my gallery pastels for the body. I didn't really want to waste Neopastels on something that wasn't right up in your face. I also made the mistake of trying to stick to more skin tone colors. Sometimes I just get spooked and I want to do something safe, and it never ends well. That's the problem with art, is you can't stay safe. You gotta be reaching. That's advice that I should take too, you know? I think everyone's susceptible to this. Like, I draw faces because I like drawing faces. Faces are comfortable for me. They're safe for me. Bodies are a lot harder, and maybe I should reach and make bodies. You know what? That'll be next week's video. Come hell or high water, whatever the result, I'll show you a body. Landscapes too, I should do landscapes. Now, it kind of works with how odd the person looks in this painting, but I kind of gave them a turtle shell. You notice that? Is their hero and a half shell. Starting in on the background with my last color set for the day, which is Crayola. I recently got another 16 pack of Crayola because I've just been chewing through this set. With the size that I've been working on, it's really going through it. I'm actually quite glad that I'm not using my more quality sets for the background. And I think doing the background's really where the pastel paper starts to show its weaknesses. It's very hard to spread pigment, especially when there's not that much pigment found in the stick that you're using. Like the Crayola, God bless their heart, I love them, not pigmented very well. That being said, I did have a lot of fun with the bubbles. I kind of wish that the one on the right hadn't been smeared like that, but there's not a whole lot that I can do once it's laid down. Just gotta be better at cleaning them, that's all there is to it. So we're just about wrapping up here, and I'd just like to point out that at the end of it, I do spend a little bit of time kind of going over and touching up the background. Ta-da! There you have it. So this was kind of just pure... I don't really know what I was doing when I was doing this. I like it though. I really wanted to go with a sense of asymmetry with this one. And I think I achieved it. Now, as for the paper, I didn't like it as much as the Strathmore drawing paper. It is very textured, actually to the point where it is pretty troublesome to actually spread the pastel. You can see in the background especially, there's a lot of white spots there. Luckily, it was on sale. If the kind of work that you do with pastels is not particularly spready, you do very tight, controlled drawings, then you might consider picking some of this up. Thanks a lot for joining me. It means a lot. Bye.